Good morning, my dear friends. Today our topic is integral of vector fields. In this, all three vector integrations we are going to study today. Okay. First of all, what is line integral? Line integral is an integral where the function to be integrated is evaluated along a curve. Along a curve. So please understand or identify the three words which I underlined: integral or integration, function, and the curve. Okay. So what is, say for example, we have a function f. We have a function f. F may be expanded throughout the space. We are not bothering integrating this f throughout the space, but we are bothering, or otherwise we are integrating only along the curve. We are considering only along the curve C. We are considering f may be this maybe throughout the space. It may not have the contours, but line integral along which line we are integrating this f bar, along that C bar, the curve C only we are integrating. The remaining things we are forgetting. So what are the other names of this line integral? The other names of this line integral, this is also called path integral, because in a particular path we are integrating. The curve integral. Another name is curvilinear integralaire. So this is a French word. And contour integral. Contour integral. Of course, contour integral, it's not generally it is applicable in quantum mechanics and there. Okay. So this is. So if we see the further division in the line integral, that is whether the function is a scalar or vector, we will have a clear understanding of what is line integral. Let us see. Say for example, f of r is a scalar function. F of r is a scalar function. Then the line integral is like this. The line integral of scalar fields over a curve C do not depend on the chosen parameterization. Based on the parameter, it will not change. Parameterization will not change the final value. The line integral over a scalar field f can be throughout as of the area under the curve C along surface z equal to f of x comma y described by the field. So see, my dear friends, in the picture, in this beautiful picture, you can clearly see that so the how the curve, particle is moving, or the curve along the curve. See generally in our earlier school days, or even up to +2, we are thinking that all the lines or the curves are in two-dimensional only. No, not necessarily. See here, the curve in blue line, it is in three-dimensional. Got the point? So curve not necessarily fixed to a particular plane, xy plane only. No, not necessarily. Curve can be spread in space in three-dimensional. Okay, so this is the curve from B to A, so or the A to B. So along this curve, how this f of r, this function, how this f of r function is from A to B, how it is. So this the area between red line and blue line, will give you the line integral. Okay, so that's it. So let us move on to line integral of a vector field. See this, my dear friends. Please closely observe the words indicated over here. So this is capital F bar, capital F bar, capital F bar. Please try to understand this. This here also it is capital F bar. Okay, and most importantly, this you see all directions. So this blue color arrows, you can see that, right? So blue color arrows will tell you f bar of r is a vector function. R bar is changing with respect to time t. With respect to time t, R bar is changing. So when the time is passing, see my dear friends, this R bar in this animation now will change from A to B. So so that is the most important thing. See this is moving. Arrow is moving, right? So that's it. So come back. Come back to the previous slide. See, in this beautiful picture, you will see there is no arrows, my dear friends. There is no arrows at all. Just the gradient only you can find. Just the gradient only you can find. So here, f of r. See here it is f is small in letters. Of course, r bar is a displacement vector. Of course, displacement is a vector, but however, the total function f is scalar. That is why f here it is denoted in the small letters. Okay, so in picture also there is no directions, but here blue color arrows you can find that f bar is not a scalar function. F bar is a vector function. This vector function is depending on r bar displacement vector, where the displacement again depending on the time t. Okay, so how this in this beautiful picture you can see that how this r bar is changing from point A to point B, then the line integral it is sweeping between these two. Okay, so the red particle is travels from point A to point B along the curve C in the vector field shown in the diagram at the right. It changes orientation. Axis here, arrows rotate to illustrate the changes in the reference. So here it will come. See, when the rotation is changing, you will find that how the vector integral. See, my dear friends, here you can find that. Here it is. I'm sorry. Here you can find. So how it is changing. So the rotation is changing. See how it is changing. Here how it is changing. Okay. So that's it. So that is it. The particle in red travels from point A to point B along a curve C, then shown in the diagram right. As it changes orientation, the axis arrows rotate to illustrate the changes in the reference. The blue arrow is the field vector relative to the current orientation of the particle. The dot product of the tangent velocity vector and the field vector results in the value represented as a green bar. This bar sweeps an area as the particle travels along the path. This area is equivalent to the line integral. So, okay. Applications. What are the applications of the line integral? Why we are bothering about this line integral? You see, in quantum mechanics, a line integral will give you the probability functions. Okay, amplitudes will give you. So that means orbitals we will find it. So electron density and all those things. Okay, quantum scattering theory also we are using this complex contour integration. Okay. So work done in a particle traveling on a curve C inside a force field represented as a vector field f bar in the line integral. So that means when work done, say my dear friends, let me explain in this way. Say particle is over here, it is moving from here to here, so from point A to B. So total work done W. To move the particle from A to B, you are doing work W equal to integral. Say for example, this curve name is C. Then integral from A to B. This is curve C. F bar of R dot f bar of r dot dr bar. So this is okay. So to find the work done, it is So even in when it comes to the positive f of is clockwise side, forwarded velocity vector r dash of t. So what is the rotation, clockwise rotation, or when it is a flow? So that also given by this line integral only. So let us move on to the surface integral. Let a bar is a vector at middle of the element ds, the direction making an angle theta with the n cap. Now the scalar product a bar dot ds bar equal to a into n into ds, a ds cos theta. So this is called the flux. See, I will explain in this way. See, my dear friends, this is the curve. This is not the normal curve. This is the closed curve. A closed curve always encircles certain amount of area. Got the point? The line integral get converted into surface integral. Of course, we will see it in Stokes theorem in detail. So this closed curve, this is encircling surface S. This curve not necessarily a two-dimensional, it can be three-dimensional. When it is in the three-dimensional, the Earth's direction, the surface direction, generally we are taking normal to the surface. So n cap is a normal. N cap is a vector drawn along the normal to the surface, yes, at point P. Okay, a bar dot ds bar equal to a bar dot n into ds. Okay, this is called the flux of a vector field a bar across the area element ds. The total flux of the vector field across the entire surface area S is given by integral double integral S a dot ds that equal to double integral S a bar dot n into ds that equal to double integral S a cos theta into d theta. So what is double integral? Generally we are integrating with respect to x and y. So two elements, not necessarily always x and y only, it can change. Do surface have the direction? Yes, of course. See, this is the plane, beautiful notebook plane. So this paper, top paper is a plane, of course. So upper surface is having a beautiful picture, whereas the other side of the plane, same plane, this side of the same plane, the surface. So this side, back side, there is no picture at all. It is not attractive. Whereas this side, normal, this is towards the normal, a beautiful picture. Towards this normal, so surface has direction. Surface is a vector element. Okay, so that is most important, my dear friends. Don't forget that. Okay, what is the definition of the surface integral relation? So this surface, this entire surface is there, no? This entire surface we are generally taking infinitesimally small elements for the calculation purpose. Okay, so definition of surface, and at each point it is surface direction is changing. So to take it into the surface direction into consideration, infinitesimally small surface elements we are taking. So small elements we are dividing it. The definition of the surface integral relies on the splitting the surface into small surface elements. Each element is associated with a vector ds of magnitude equal to the area of the element, and with the direction normal to the element pointing outward. Always the direction is outward. So area is equal to ds. Okay. So single element we are taking in this picture from the here, say for example only this one we are taking and analyzing over here. Illustration: single surface element. These elements are made in infinitesimally small by limiting the process, so as to approximate the surface. So along the x-axis, my dear friends, along the x-axis how this surface element, y-axis and z-axis how this is changing. So this entire thing is total surface, but we are bothering about only single element. Okay. For integrals of scalar fields, the value of the surface integral is independent of parameter used. Even in the line integral also, surface in line integral is in vector field, it is direction specific, whereas scalar field, so it is independent. When integrating the vector fields, we do need to decide in advance in which direction the normal will point, and then choose any parameterization consistent with that direction. Say come back, so the same surface, so if you want to calculate this direction or this direction, you have to have a clear idea before you start it. Even if we go back to the line integral also, so here you can see line integral scalar field over a curve. C bar do not depend on the chosen parameterization. Even in this also, surface integral also, you can see that here you can see that in the scalar fields, integral of scalar field, the value of surface is independent of the parameter used. Parameterization is independent from the parameterization. When integrating vector fields, we do need to decide in advance in which direction the normal will point, and then choose any parameterization consistent with that direction. Okay, that is fine. A curved surface with a vector field passing through it. The red arrows represent the magnitude and direction of the field at various points in the surface. See in this diagram, vector field F bar, red arrows passing through an arbitrary shaped curve surface S. Okay, the arrows, of course, the arrows show you the vectors, magnitude and direction of the field at regular spaced points in the surface. By integrating the perpendicular component of the field over the surface using a surface integral, a number representing the flux of the field through the surface can be obtained. Okay. See the flux through each path. So in this we are taking only one. Okay, one element we are taking. So analyzing it further. To the normal, so this n bar blue line is a normal drawn to the surface element ds. Okay, we are multiplying it, the area and this normal. The normal component is equal to the dot product of the unit normal vector. Okay, blue arrow. Diagram of vector field passing through a small rectangular portion of the surface. Rectangular portion of the surface. The surface integral of flux of field through the surface is equal to the normal component of the vector field through the surface multiplied by the area. The normal component can be calculated by taking the dot product of the field with the unit normal vector at that point. So the flux through the surface is equal to, find the surface integral of the field through a surface. This is integrated over the surface. Okay. So the total flux through the surface is found by adding up for each path in the limit as the patches become infinitesimally small. This is the surface integral. An arbitrary surface S with a vector field F bar passing through it. The surface is divided into small infinitesimal region ds. The surface integral is the sum of the perpendicular component of the field passing through each region multiplied by the area ds. The perpendicular component of the field is equal to the dot product of the field f of x, where the unit normal vector n of x at the point ds. So in blue color normals, flux in red color, it is okay, it is shown. Okay. Let us move on to the another topic, the last topic, of course, the volume integral. So volume, here you can see volume integral, triple integral we are using. See, my dear friends, a closed curve is encircling some surface. Yes, if surface is encircling, if this surface is folding close, it closes some volume V. Say for example, say my dear friends, I will explain in this way. So come back to the previous slide. See, my dear friend, let us say there is a line, this line, this white paper is there, no? So along this line, this is the closed curve. Okay, so this closed curve is encircling this notebook surface. When this notebook surface is folded, like our what I can say, this pulli packet, like folding like for ice cream cone shape. That cone actually encircles some volume. That from where that cone is coming, this surface, this paper only. If this notebook is curving, encircles some volume. Okay, from line, surface, from surface, volume. Okay, that's it. So in volume integral also, see this volume integral, we are taking integration with respect to three components, x, y, z in Cartesian coordinate system. It not necessarily only Cartesian coordinate system, spherical coordinate system, r, theta, phi, where phi is azimuth, theta is angle, okay, r is radius. Okay, then this closed surface, this point, this closed surface encircles some space volume V. If A be a vector point functioning at a point in a small element of volume dV, then volume integral equal to triple integral V A into dV. There is no dot product at all. Okay, A bar is a vector function, no doubt, but volume is a scalar. Therefore, dV, derivation of volume, is also, element of volume is also a scalar. There is no doubt about it. Okay, so why volume is a scalar, why volume don't have a direction, I will try to explain with this example. See, here you can see different water bottles shown in this picture. See, the water bottle shape is different. However, each water bottle capacity or volume is just 1 liter only. 1 liter only. So if you sorry, so 1 liter only. So 1 liter means whatever bottle you are putting, the water shape may be changing, but volume is 1 liter only. So that means volume don't have direction, so it is a scalar function. Got the point? So volume is dimensionless, my dear friends. So these are the acknowledgements we are taking from Wikimedia, the pictures and all. So and this is for today. Thank you. Any doubts, my dear friends? You are free to drop me email at vikramdev@gmail.com. Immediately I will answer your queries. Okay. Thank you.